Hey, what's up, y'all? Back again with another video. I hope you guys are all doing well, taking care of yourself, eating foods that resonate with you, and staying hydrated. So I want to talk about the whole situation with being desperate to have friends. And what inspired me to talk about it was the whole video, if you guys haven't seen the video, about the girl Shaquila, who basically died at the hands of her so-called friends. And I want to talk about it because I've experienced friends who have judged me, who have not been the most supportive. And my thing is that you should never be desperate to have friends. You should never be desperate to fit in, because there's huge consequences with hanging out with people who don't have your best interest at heart. We gotta know what true support and true love is, because you could end up like Homegirl did, in a situation where she was far away, had no friends, no real family or real friends around her that truly cared about her. And they clearly did not care they clearly did not care about her at all. At all. It's very clear that they did not give a fuck about her. And I saw someone talk about her online and say that basically when you go on these trips, most of the time they just want to make the trip cheaper. And I remember being in situations like that where I would have friends who would just want to get as many people as they can, and the topic in the conversation was, let's make the trip cheaper. Let's make the trip cheaper. But not even really caring about who is going on the trip. Not even being self-aware of the people that you're going to be around, just being desperate of wanting to go on a trip and make it cheaper. Thankfully, I wasn't really in situations where my life was at stake or dangerous situations, and I always honored leaving early or taking my own car so I can leave and be mobile, even though maybe I didn't want to drive, but I knew that I have a resource to be able to leave whenever I want to. No, I'm not bound to anyone. I'm not looking for anyone or being codependent on anyone when, if a situation comes up where, I have to leave. And there's been plenty of incidences where I left early and something had happened at a different location. Drama broke out, arguments, fights, whatever. And I was able to escape those situations because something in my gut was like, I need to go home. I'm tired. Like, I honor me being tired. There was one time where I did go with a friend to a event with her girlfriend, and her girlfriend was not treating me kindly. She was complaining towards me, just being negative towards me. And my friend's girlfriend, my ex-friend's girlfriend, didn't even say anything, didn't even stick up for me, because honestly, wrong is wrong. When somebody is treating someone wrong or badly, they need to speak up. It doesn't matter if it's your girlfriend, your boyfriend. If your boyfriend or girlfriend is treating somebody else badly, like, wrong is wrong. So I decided to make up a story and basically say, I want to go home. I left my wallet at home, and I was able to get out of that situation because it just didn't feel right. It wasn't comforting. It wasn't supportive. It wasn't fun. For one, it was taken away from the true fun of us going out and us having each other's backs. If we're in a really big crowd, why would I be around people who are someone who is being negative towards me, or not supportive, or not loving, and being toxic towards me? And I really wasn't doing anything wrong. Like, it was to the point where that situation basically happened because I told her that I wanted to sit in the front seat because I get nauseous, I get car sick. And she didn't want to to honor that because she wanted to sit next to her girlfriend, and she's always around her girlfriend. And I told them, like, if it was the other way around, I would basically let that individual be in the front. But no, she was being, an a-hole. She has a right to do whatever she wants. She has free will. So I kicked into my free will and was not going to put up with that. Knowing me now, if something like that was to happen, I would say something in a loving way that I don't appreciate how they're being towards me, because honestly, I wouldn't. I would let her sit in that seat, and I would speak up. I have more balls now to say things in a way where, they can't really hurt me by the way that I'm saying it. But back then, I just didn't care. Like, that was something that came to my mind, and that's okay until you gain your confidence in who you are. Like, this was years ago when that happened, but those little things count, and it's imperative to honor those moments when something doesn't feel right. If you're hanging around people who really don't care or don't care about their own personal life, they have different agendas that they abide by, different morals that they abide by, different rules that they abide by. One of my exes that I was with for a long time, she told me, this was one of her best advice, and I'll never forget it, because she told me, she said that, why don't you use your friends for what they are for? Don't look to this friend and you and that friend, this one particular friend, you and that friend. All you guys do is hang out. So why would you think that she's going to be supportive in certain situations or be there for you if you are in trouble or something like that? So don't expect that from that particular friend. Look at where you go with that person. Look where you guys hang out with that person. So use your friends accordingly and understand and be realistic about what they're offering in that friendship. Because if you're hanging around a person who's just a party person and just wanting to do whatever and wanting to try whatever, that's great if they want to do that, but just have your own resources and hold yourself down if something pops off, if that person walks away or they leave, stuff like that. You have to think about it, because not everybody has the same heart that you do. I'm the type of person where I do care about people just naturally. I really truly do care about people naturally. And what has happened in the past is that I've always gotten walked all over. And it got to a point where I was just like, I'm burnt out. My energy is burnt out. It's not being reciprocated. And certain belief systems that I had attached to, that I was taught, was to love thy neighbor. And you don't always have to love every person, every neighbor. You can be nice to them, but you got to have discernment of, is this person the right fit for me? Are they aligned to me? Everybody doesn't have to be, it's not, everyone is not going to be your best friend, and that's okay, So to accept that and be realistic about it, you'll be able to put yourself in better situations. Like I said, have your own car. If you choose to go out, have your own car to get away. Manage your alcohol. Learn yourself. Learn what you can take and what you can't take. Like for me, when I get to the club, like me and my friends, my ex-friends, we would go out and we would go to the club early. That was perfect for me, because by the time I was done drinking, I was sober by the time the club was over. And by the time the club was over, I was able to still drive. I was sober within those 2 hours or whatnot. So learning yourself, learning your autonomy, listening to your gut instinct, and not being desperate to be in the in crowd, and being a part of everything. You don't have to be a part of everything to be something, to be someone. It's okay. It's okay to stay home. This is strengthening your relationship with yourself and with God. We don't want to sit here and praise and worship our friends in a way where it's so unhealthy, and at a drop of a hat, you are just wanting to go towards that friend without even thinking about, is that really something that you want to do? Don't get me wrong, being spontaneous is okay, because I've been spontaneous, but I knew that it was right and that it was aligned, and I was directing myself to these areas, and I took accountability for that. But please do not worship these friends. Even if a friend has a lot of money and has access to certain people, please do not worship these friends. Don't. It takes a long time to see who is for you, to see who's for you. It's very rare to find someone where you just click and it's just that automatic respect and that automatic trust with that person, and you will know. Just like a relationship, there's plenty of people who get into relationships and they say that they just knew. So it's the same thing as your friendships. You just know when something just is easy. You guys are on the same boat. You guys have the same foundation and the morals, and it just goes like this. And it's okay to outgrow your friends. It's totally fine. You don't have to continue a friendship where you are evolving and the other person is still stuck right in that same spot. The reason why they are stuck in that particular spot or stagnant is because God has to show them something, and God is showing you a different way. And that's okay. And sometimes you have to be the person that removes yourself so they can change eventually, or whatever God is trying to show them is whatever God is trying to show them, because everyone has their own path. So never feel guilty if you have to leave people behind. It is part of the growth. It is part of seasons. Everything changes. And if you're changing, please don't hold yourself back from that. Never be desperate for any friendship. And I feel as though people are desperate to fit in or desperate for friendships is because the lack of relationship that they have with themselves and the lack of relationship that they have with God. You should never put people above God. No. You get what I'm saying? Never put your relationship with God above anyone else, because you'll end up, if you don't have that relationship with God, you'll end up doing things with your friends that you probably know that you shouldn't be doing, or areas that you know that you shouldn't be in. And that just causes drama and chaos. There's been plenty of times where I've been saved from not getting into situations by people excluding me, friends excluding me, and also me listening to my gut, because it's just, I'm thankful for it. Even though it was painful and my feelings would hurt in the past, that people wouldn't invite me out or whatnot, or change of plans would happen and then I would lose interest or whatnot, or I just didn't want to go, or I didn't have any money to go. Like all of those things, all of those little things matter, and there's a reason why you did not go out with that person. You know, there's a reason why friendships do not last or work out. I see so many times where I see women, especially online, where there's so many stories about how they met up with old friends and they got beat up. And it's like, why go backwards to those people when you're not that anymore? You know what I mean? Why hang out with that same group just because you're lonely? What is wrong with being lonely? There's such a curse on being alone and lonely. You know, there's so much negativity around being alone, you know, that something's wrong with you if you don't have a relationship, if you don't have a bunch of friends. You know, there's something wrong with you. It must be you if, you know, you don't have all these friends around you to make you feel significant in this life. And it's all about your connection with God. You'll get to a point where you're just done with drama and inserting yourself into people's problems and thinking that it's yours, or thinking that you have to solve their problems, and misplace empathy and misplace compassion for people where they've done certain things where, it made them have that type of, situation, or be in that type of situation. So you gotta, there's a point where you have to turn off your feelings. There's a time to open up your heart chakra, and there's a time to leave that energy within here for you, not to give it to everyone, because you'll get depleted. People don't reciprocate that energy back. So don't deplete yourself and don't burn yourself out being there for everyone and feeling sorry for everyone. That is not your place. That's not your job. That is God's job. That's that person's situation and their relationship with God. We can't sit here and play God for everybody. That's not it, unless I'm talking to someone who is on that God level, that they can reciprocate what I have and what they have. And if they can't do that, then it's okay. That's a cue for me to walk away. But don't burn yourself out trying to be the best friend ever, trying to get that title of being a best friend. Who cares about that title? You have to be able to have your cup all the way full, so when you pour it out a little bit, you still have energy for yourself. So once you realize that it's not worth being in drama, and there's a good chunk of people that I see online that are saying that it's not worth it to go to a concert sometimes, it's not worth it to go to these certain crowds or events at times, because they're burnt out, they're tapped out. That's where I got burnt out, tapped out of trying to go into drama and be around all these types of energies that don't have my best interest at heart, and I got tired of it and started to switch my beliefs around what's really important in life. Been there, done that, that's fun, that's fine, and it's over, it's done with. If I choose to go out or go to a party or go to a bar, then that would be a one occasion for a very long time. But I'm not fiending for it like I was in my past. I would go out every weekend, sometimes on Tuesday, and I don't regret it at all, because I knew that I still trusted myself, and I knew that I could drive away if I want to, paying attention to where the exit is, paying attention to the energy and the vibe in the place, in the club, wherever you are at in these functions. Because I've had people who will look me up and down and try to mean mug me because they're unhappy. They're unhappy with themselves. They probably had an argument, that maybe their life is not going as smoothly as it could be. And that's okay. All of us have challenges. All of us are literally can go through things at the spur of the moment. Something can happen, or, just a change in mood. But this individual was looking at me and wanting to start a fight. And I just looked away. My energy is not in that, you know what I mean? So it's I just look at stuff like that, whatever. If someone cuts me off on the road, I'm just whatever. Very seldomly I will react to stuff like that unless I have to honk the horn to get that person's attention. But other than that, if someone cuts in front of me, go ahead, you know what I'm saying? It's just whatever to me. There's no emotion towards me reacting to what people do. It gets less and less and less the more that you practice and listening to your intuition. So please don't be desperate to be in certain crowds, because a lot of people hold drama. A lot of people are not healing themselves. A lot of people are not willing to feel instead of react, and they'll rather react instead of feel what they're feeling, and look at themselves, that full growth, So please stop looking at the people on TV and thinking that that is the way to be, and thinking that that's excitement You know, like, stop trying to be Cardi B, stop trying to be Megan Thee Stallion. Like, all that shit is old. Like, be yourself. Be your true self. Like, nothing's wrong with them. I'm not hating on them, but I just see a lot of women who act like that, especially online. Like, it's old already, you know what I mean? Where's the true you going to come out? I want to see who you are. Like, I'm just seeing a lot of people that are the same and that are a lot into the same things. And it's just like, this shit is old. So please stop thinking that that is the way to be. This is the way to be, is to be in the in crowd and have the latest things and all this stuff. Like, I will buy something that's cheap that I personally like, and people will think that it's expensive just because of the way that I carry myself. If I fucking like it, then that means it's worth something. I don't care if it's $5, you know? So change your belief systems on how you look at yourself and what you think is important, and crank up that connection with God. Notice and recognize who the people you are around, and if that is really you. It's worth it to be by yourself. It's so worth it. You will save yourself time and energy and stress. And then if you're around these types of people, their drama will be inserted into your mind, and you will be continuously thinking about it, and it's not even your stuff. It's not even your stuff. Like, they expect you to deal with their problems. They expect that because they want to transfer that dramatic drama, negative energy onto you. And so it's imperative to honor yourself in that moment and just be like, I really don't want to talk about this. You know, especially if they're not trying to find a solution to a problem. It's different if you're around people who are like, they're just talking about what they're going through, but they know what they did wrong, and they know they have a solution for it, and they're willing and they're active about changing it, and they have that self-awareness. That's different. But being around people who don't care about you, who want to fight you, who have hidden jealousy, a lot of people have a lot of hidden jealousy within them. And you would be surprised about what's going on in their mind. A lot of women are doing this. A lot of women will bicker and hate each other just based off of what they're wearing, you know, how they talk. It's stupid. It's the dumbest thing. I don't get it. I absolutely don't get it. Like, it's so sad, the competitiveness that has been created amongst women. It's so fucking sad, even if they don't even express it. If you are intuitive enough, you could pick up on that energy. That energy cannot be destroyed. You could feel that shit. They have that energetic negativity and that competitive energy around them. And I've talked about this in my other videos. People hating people about how they look, what they wear, their weight. Like, I've been made fun of for my size, and it's like, motherfuckers, get over it already. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm inside of this body, so pay attention to what you can do for yourself. Just like I'm doing what I need to do for myself. I'm not worried about other people. And in my past, I was worried about other people, worried about what other fucking people thought about me, because it's a natural thing that you've been taught, because the people around you are paying attention to the same things. And when you're younger, you don't know that that's not the way to be. So when you get older, you'd be like, dang, like, I was operating in that. Did I want to operate in that? No, I knew it wasn't right. Something in me when I was younger knew talking about people and judging people wasn't right. I felt it in my bones. You get what I'm saying? It never really felt good to me to do that. And when I did do it and it didn't feel good, like, it made me so low to do those things, because it was just, it was negative. You get what I'm saying? It's negative. So once you grow up and you learn that that's not the way to be, and it's okay to be on your own, then you wouldn't put yourself in situations where you're getting your ass kicked, you know, trying to fit in. Who wants to be in that situation where you're literally get to the point where you can die because nobody is trying to stop the fight. Everybody wants to be entertained by negativity. They're feeding their drama bone. They're feeding their drama bone. They get high off of negativity because they're ugly inside. They're ugly inside. And they don't even know that they're ugly inside. They feed off of that. This is what makes people popular, is to talk shit about people. That's what makes people popular. And there's so much stuff going on in the world right now that a lot of people don't even know, and a lot of people don't even recognize and realize. Even if you look into the skies, like there's so much stuff going on, but no. Everybody wants to concentrate on the petty things and bringing people down and tearing people down instead of coming together with your own unique tribe and creating something that this world has never seen before. But no, they would rather, it's basically easier. It's easier to talk shit about people. It seems like it's harder to find people who are actually supportive and who actually genuinely love you or actually genuinely cares about people, you know? So I don't have time for it. I don't. And I rebuke all that fucking shit. I rebuke all that drama, and I don't want to be around it. Like, I'm done, and I'm over that type of energy. And I would rather have my peace and sanity instead of worrying about everybody else and how they view me and how they think about, like, no, like, I don't have time to be sized up by my so-called friends, you know? So sometimes it's not about you, nothing's wrong with you. Sometimes you're just that unique light in this world, and you're the one who's different. So if you know that you are by yourself and you're alone, strengthen your relationship with God. Make you your best friend. Make God your best friend. See what the world and God can unfold for you instead of hanging around people who are not supportive. Please don't be desperate. And it's okay if you have been desperate in the past and gotten into situations with people, and it's okay if you're in that desperate energy. Just feel it, and if you act on these things and you end up in a situation, you learn from the situation. Let those energies die within you. Sometimes people have to get to a certain place where something really, really bad happens to wake them up. You don't have to get to that point where something bad happens for you to change. You could change whenever you want. Have inspiration to change inside of you. And it was very interesting the other day. I was doing delivery, and I turned on this street and it said inspiration. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's really cool. You've got to find inspiration within you, not from other people. And then when you have the ultimate inspiration, genuine love for yourself, other people will come towards you, even if you don't get to be their friends or whatnot. Even that one moment of having a great experience with someone that you met in a grocery store or a clerk at the grocery store, and they're treating you with so much kindness, receive that shit. And if it feels uncomfortable, say it's okay that you feel uncomfortable, because you may not be used to people treating you with respect, and you'll get there, and it's totally fine. Like, I had to go through all those feelings of receiving, you know, the best love from people that I don't even know, because I've just had so many incidences with friends and stuff like that where they didn't have my best interest at heart. So, you know, to receive it and open yourself up at the right time, when you know when it's genuine, that is where the true growth happens. And then you won't seek other people that are not giving you that elite love that you deserve. So remember to continue to take care of yourself the best way that you know how. And when you do that, God will show you and give you more information for you to take care of yourself on all levels, as long as you're open enough and using discernment at the same time. then that's when you will start to grow and evolve. And the people around you, you won't attract those types of people anymore. And then when you do, you'll know how to duck and dodge out of that situation. So keep your energy clear, meditate, give yourself time to meditate. You could start 5 minutes and then increase it to 10 minutes, increase it to 30 minutes. I can meditate for an hour, 2 hours on a really, really good day when I make time for it, and whatever is needed for me, So make sure that you are making time for yourself and making time with God. That is the most important thing. And to start somewhere. Start somewhere. But please do not be desperate for people. Please don't. Don't, because you will get disappointed every single time. If you're desperate for a friendship, or desperate for a relationship, or desperate for someone's approval, even if it's family, you will get disappointed every fucking time, and they will play you like a puppet. They will play you like a puppet. You will get bamboozled if you do not stay awake and use discernment. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will be back again with another video. Peace.